everyone, today's video is going to be my palette roundup for the month of May, where I go through and I kind of rank all the palettes based off of how much I have used them. This is a very popular series on my channel. A lot of you guys really enjoy it. While I am going through each palette, I also show you every single look I have done in the past month. So if that is something you enjoy watching, please stick around. I will have my palette roundup playlist linked down below so you can binge watch if you need to or want to. In May, I wore makeup 29 days, so I only did not wear makeup twice, which that is very common for me, it seems like recently. I would used to wear makeup about 5, maybe 6 days a week and give myself a break over the weekend, but I feel like on the weekends, I actually have the time to do something more fun, something a little bit more creative, actually take my time and enjoy putting my makeup on. While in the mornings to go to work, I don't have that much time. So I kind of take advantage of the weekends in that regard. I have used 21 singular palettes, and I'm going to show you guys the singular palettes. And I do have 2 BYOPs, which we will get into that. But if I include all the palettes that were in my BYOP that I have actually used, I've used a total of 30 palettes. Again, we'll get into that. And I somehow acquired 5 new palettes in the month of May, so we will also get into that. And we're going to start out with the 15 palettes that got used once. The first palette I used one time as a full singular palette. In my spreadsheet, this palette has a lot more than one use because there are multiple shades from here in my BYOPs. But this is the Bella Beauté Bar Secret Garden palette, and I created such a pretty, it was like a green to a pink, and these are the shades that are left over from taking stuff out of my BYOP. So I definitely used these 2 shades. These 2 are beautiful, and I used some of those pink shades as well. As you guys can tell, I love pink eyeshadow, so you probably will see quite a bit of that. But yes, I really enjoy this palette. The formula is amazing. I really enjoy this Bella Beauté Bar palette. Probably my favorite look I've done all month. Next palette I have only used once is my ColourPop Bratz palette. This look was my last and final look to make to finish my No Pan Left Behind. This was in a project. So this is the palette. Again, 2 of the shades are in a BYOP, so this has gotten more than one use in my actual spreadsheet, but as a whole palette, I used it one time. That's kind of what the gist was with this look. It was just a catch-all to finish my No Pan Left Behind. I used my Garden Variety palette once from ColourPop. In this look, I used the mattes to set up a look, and then I used a single, which I'll showcase later, in the lid, on the lid. So these were just the mattes from this palette. I have had this for years. I have used this a lot, and I feel like I am just now being able to see dips in 2 of my most used shades, which are these 2 in the corner. I know it's not winter anymore, it's not Christmas anymore, but I did pull out my Cosmic Brushes 'Tis the Season. If you do a brand, if a brand does a holiday release, and if it is still color stories that I would wear outside of the holiday season, I think that is done correctly. I look at this and I don't really see Christmas other than like the red and the green row, but I can wear this throughout the entire year. I think Cosmic Brushes did an amazing job with this, and I of course did one of my favorite looks ever. It was a very peachy, warm sort of vibe, and I really enjoy doing that sort of look. But I really love this palette, and I want to kind of use it here and there throughout the year, not just in the holiday season. I'm not going to be showing you guys this look because I did this in a drugstore get ready with me, but I used both of my Essence palettes. So both of these got used once, and it was for that video. I have Essence Coral Me Maybe, which is some beautiful coral and warm neutrals. And then we have Nothing Compares to Nude, which is, I guess, regular neutrals. These are like my go-to travel palettes, so that's why they don't get a whole lot of use any other time. But I really don't have that many drugstore eyeshadows, so that's why they got used for that video. When we do go traveling, or we go and, you know, do those types of things where I won't have access to my entire makeup collection, these are easy to pack, they're affordable, so if I lose them or if they break or something, these are perfect. They have a mirror, the eyeshadow quality is really nice. So these are kind of designated as travel palettes. I don't use them that much throughout the year otherwise. Used my Huda Mercury Retrograde once, and I did a throwback Thursday with this, so I'm not going to be showing you guys the look. I was talking about like the struggle with beauty YouTube. This is the color story. I do have a few pans in here. It's also very reflective. Love this color story. And actually, the day that I did this look, I had an interview for a job, and as I am filming this on the very last day of May, I do start a new job on June 2nd, so that's Monday. So this is kind of special in that regard. Usually I use my Naked Reloaded when I have interviews and stuff, but I really wanted to get a Throwback Thursday out with this, so I used this instead. I love the look I did. I will of course leave any corresponding videos linked down below, but I did get a new job, and that's starting Monday. So that's gonna be exciting, but that is this palette. We're kicking two birds with one stone. This look here, I was using my Kaja Bento Trio. My goal for this is to hit pan in the first shade. So I did use the first shade and the first shade only for the lid of this look. And then I did use my Moira Magic Dreaming palette for the rest of the look. This used to be like a favorite palette of mine. Like, it used to be a color story I really loved, a formula I really loved. I really enjoyed the entire palette as a whole. I just haven't been reaching for it, and I took it back out to kind of play around with it. I wasn't impressed with the look, and I do have the, I guess, the more bright one as well. I won these in a giveaway, an Instagram giveaway, so I did not purchase them. I am iffy about what to do with these, how I should just get rid of them. I'm just not impressed with these palettes as much as I used to be. This used to be a favorite palette of mine, so I do want to use this a few more times in the next month just to make sure that this is a palette that I don't really need or want. Because I had that mentality with the other palette, but I did 3 looks 1 palette video. I'll leave that link down below. That was last summer, I believe. And I loved all the looks, so I kept the palette. So I wasn't a big fan of the look that I did this month. This is another palette that I used just for the mattes, and then the shimmers came from singles. So I brought out my Lorac Fairy Tale Forest. Also, Nomad came out with Fairy Tale Europe, okay? I still get them confused. Like, I will want to try and type out Fairy Tale Forest when I mean Fairy Tale Europe, and I try to do Fairy Tale Europe when I'm going for Fairy Tale Forest. I get them confused. I do. Forest, we have a lot of earthy tones in here that you would find in like a foresty place. I really love this palette. This definitely needs to get a lot more use, but I believe these 2 colors. I used these 2 colors in my crease for this look. I loved this look. This look, another one of my top favorite looks for the month. Okay, I think this is the last palette that was to build up a look for single. I used my Natasha Denona Mini Rose palette for this look. I used a single for most of the lid. So the mattes and everything were covered by this palette. Really cute and simple. Really love this palette. Such a cutie patootie. I did buy this for my birthday, so it does have a special place in my heart. Maybe next year I'll buy another one of these little 5-pan guys. I'm really impressed with this palette. Really enjoy it. I'm very glad I got this specific palette. Like I said, you guys know how much I love pink eyeshadow. This look, also another one of my top favorite looks so far this month. It was used with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, And again, one of the shades is in a BYOP, but this is what it looks like. Me and my friend Courtney over on Instagram, we did a collab with this, so we use the same shades. I know this shade is all over the lid. We did some other green looks, so we both use the same shades and we both did totally different looks. Courtney did a really good job, and I'll leave Courtney's Instagram linked down below. But this is a beautiful palette, and I'm glad we did a collab video with this. Not a video, a collab post. She's been doing like a 1 week, one palette series on her Instagram. It's very fun, very interactive, because you kind of get to choose the palette she does next. And so, I mean, of course I voted for Yucca because I own Yucca, so I can get some inspiration from her. Love this palette. I think I have this video on for my May Flowers video, but this is Flora's Story from Odin's Eye. It is super cute. The new Pat McGrath palette that came out has been kind of all over the place in terms of reviews, so I wanted to make a look that was inspired by the color stories, and also the Dragon Eye palette from What's Up Beauty also has the same type of color story. So this is the palette. It is greens and pinks, not pinks, purples. It's green and purples, and I created this look. I did purples in the crease, greens on the lid. I wonder if I'll hit pan on that color right there at some point. It's a really pretty color. Really enjoy this palette, and I'm glad that I got to use it. This was in collaboration with Makeup Just for Fun. I used my Odin's Eye Planet Spirit palette once. Also for the Bingo of Shame series, which I have never got involved with, but we will be doing it in June. So on June 16th, mark your calendars, you're gonna see 1,000,001 Bingo of Shame posts and videos and everything. DW from Does Beauty Diary and Andie from Makeup in the Mundane does a Bingo of Shame. So each month there's a palette, and for June it's going to be the Planet Spirit. I hope you don't hear that truck that's outside. Okay, the truck is now gone, but the look that I did in May included a lot of the warm and the orange and the pinks. That's kind of what I was going for. The Bingo of Shame is palette bingo, so we'll see what type of color story I get, and I will be doing a video on that, so make sure you mark your calendars. This palette will be back. I really enjoyed this palette. My shirt was burgundy with yellow and orange stripes on it, so that's kind of the color inspiration that I had for this palette. The last and final palette that got one use was the Unearthly Strawberry Milkshake palette. A lot of you guys know Unearthly has been in my like indie wish list, like the brands I want to try. I got this on Mercari. Mercari Photo showed all colors intact. All the colors were there. And when I got the palette, it has the two matte cream shades. I requested a refund and they gave me a refund, but then ended up giving me a 1 star as a buyer, but I would not have given you an issue if you gave me what I asked for, like what I bought. So I got this palette, and it does have 2 matte cream shades. They were very nice about it, like in the messages back and forth, but then proceeded to give me a 1 star rating. So the whole thing kind of gives me a bad taste in my mouth. And then I have a friend over on Instagram that's been having a lot of issues with Unearthly, so the brand itself kind of has a little bad taste in my mouth. I have the palette. I got this palette to test out the formula, because if I like the formula, then I would be more likely to buy a palette or two once there's a sale, the ones I actually really want, like Sorcerer's Smoke and the Don't Be Jelly are the 2 I want. But I don't know if I'll buy them. Anyway, I have this palette. It's actually the one that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I got this a day or 2 ago, and so I'm wearing it on the last day of the month. This is the look, so I used these 2 shades, and I used these 2 shades. I did not have any issues with today's eye look, I will admit. They blended really nicely. The shimmers are very impactful and pretty. I have no issues with the actual palette. but with the Mercari thing, like, if you would have just sent me a palette with the correct shade, I would not have given you an issue. Was I in the wrong? I have asked some friends, and I was not in the wrong in their brain, but I must have ticked that seller off because I asked for a refund when they did not give me what I wanted, or what was given to me was not shown on the post. You know what I mean? Am I in the wrong? I don't think I'm in the wrong. Now we're going into the 4 palettes that got used twice. So this was the second new palette. Unearthly was a new palette. Then I got the Snow Angel palette, which is a new palette. This is from Simply Posh. I love, love, love my Coastal palette from Simply Posh. So when this went 40% off for Memorial Day, I knew I needed it. So I did 2 looks. This first look was a lot purplier. I used, I think, these 2 shades, and I think I used this shade, I think. And it had like a warm, because this is shown more warm. It's a pink, and has a gold reflect to it. That is all over the eyes. I really loved this look. It's more of a purpley sort of vibe. For my second look, I just have these 3 in this column here. Really beautiful. These are my types of cool tones, and I can't wait to play with the bluey green colors. Going to really be happy about that. But these are the shades, and I'm really very excited to continue to use this. I got this only a couple days ago, so I only was able to use it twice. The last pre-made palette that was in this section with 2 uses, I used my What's Up Beauty Geodes palette twice this month. Really love and enjoy this palette. And if you guys did not know, I feel like What's Up Beauty does not showcase that these are magnetic, but these are magnetic. You can just pop them out, which I think is very nice. This look was very, very basic and very simple. More neutrals and the purples. I feel very naked without my winged eyeliner. So just because I don't have winged eyeliner on kind of makes this lower on the totem pole for me. But I really enjoy the second look that I did with this. I have these adorable little earrings that are beehives. So I used both of the yellows, the yellow matte and the yellow shimmer, in cooperation with a different palette. And I created this really pretty orange and yellow gold look. And I really need to wear orange eyeshadow more often because I think it looks really pretty and I really enjoyed it. I also have some warm lippies in my project that I need to use, so this might get pulled out for yellows again, but I really thought this was a good addition for that look. Now for my BYOPs. I have a big one, and a small one. We're going to start with the small one. Both of these BYOPs got 2 uses. So this is the look of my baby BYOP. I did do an entire video going over my BYOPs, me picking the shades. This first look, stunning. Absolutely stunning. So I used the blue mattes, and then this is the Bella Beauté Bar Shimmer. It's a shade in the Bella Beauté Bar palette. It looks green and blue, and it has a little bit of a translucent base. You put that all over the lid, and it looks magical. I'm telling you, it looks magical. Loved this look. I do have on a piece of paper what each shade is, so I kind of do a little no pin left behind grid of the palette and mark the shades that I used. So then when I go and do my spreadsheet, since I used this one shade from the Bella Beauté Bar palette, Bella Beauté Bar got an extra use, if that makes sense. So that's kind of why I kind of used Bella Beauté Bar palette once, and that was why it was in the one spot, but I technically used it a lot more, because they're in my BYOP. And then the second look was super simple and basic. It was just these 3 shades. That was it. These 3 shades on the eyes. This to me is like a perfect everyday sort of neutral look for me. These 3 in a little trio. looked beautiful, very work appropriate, had no issues with that. Because I am starting this new job and I still will have to do my other job, I am not going to be doing a June BYOP. I know, I'm sorry, a lot of you guys I'm sure are going to be upset. It's not that important. I would love to do a rainbow BYOP for June, for Pride Month. June is Pride Month, right? That's what I think. It's not July. I think it's June. June, I think, is Pride Month. And I really wanted to do a rainbow BYOP, or based off of certain flags and stuff, different groups of people. I know I just will not be using them very much. So we're going to keep my May BYOP throughout June. And I'm thinking in July we'll bring out the Pride. The other palette, I liked these looks a little bit less, so I did a whole green look. The shade's all over the lid. This is from Yucca, but this is a really pretty palette I made. And then the other look I did was with these neutrals, the purples on the lid, and then I put this blue shade on the inner corner and up into the purple. So that was a pretty look as well. I used 3 palettes 3 times, so we're bringing out the big guns. The Culture palette from Juvia's Place. Really love this palette. So I did an army green and pink look. Really enjoyed that one. That was using more over here. Love that look so much. Another one of those looks that it's a top contender for a favorite. I did do an IG inspiration video copying or taking inspiration from one of DW's looks. So I will link that video down below. Will not be showing you the picture. And I told you guys that I did that honeycomb look. I used these oranges over here. I used this column for that specific look. I really played around with this palette the last month. Really love the color story, and I'm very happy to have this palette. This is a palette that is very inspiring to me, and it makes me very happy that I used it 3 times. I did a video on my M81, the Golden Ratio palette. This was a new palette to me this month, and I still have my little white discs because I don't want my shades to come out. But I have an entire video with this, swatches. I show you guys all the looks that I have done. You guys can check out the video down below. But I didn't do all 3 of these looks in that video, so we'll show you 2 of them. So the first one, beautiful. I love this one. It has my favorite shade just all over the lid. Really enjoyed that one. The second look, I really enjoyed this one too. It's a very warm, sultry sort of eye look. These are definitely sultry neutrals, and I really love and enjoy this palette. Very glad I supported Megan. Will always support Megan, and she is awesome. We talked about this in that video. And then the third look, I did a speed tutorial in that video, so I will not go through that look. Golden Ratio palette did get 3 uses. My first ever PR was my Nomad Route 66 palette, and I'm very thankful and very appreciative of this palette that I received in the mail for free for PR from Nomad. I did do a 3 looks 1 palette video, and I also did a giveaway with this release, and that was a very successful giveaway. Thank you for everyone who entered and did all that. Really love and appreciate all of you guys, and the winner loves and enjoys her palette, and I'm super excited about that because I let you guys choose any palette that you wanted. I know this palette isn't going to be for everybody. This is the Color Story. It is a very beautiful Nomad palette. I really enjoy Nomad formula, and I have no real complaints with this palette. I just want to use it more often. After doing that 3 looks 1 palette video, I just had other stuff that I really wanted to use, and so I just haven't reached for it since that 3 looks 1 palette video. So I'll leave that link down below. Nomad is coming out with 3, older palettes with new updated formula for their 10-year anniversary. I kind of want all of them, and that would almost double my Nomad collection. I have 4 palettes from Nomad currently. This is a beautiful palette. Used 3 looks. All 3 looks were done in that 3 looks 1 palette video. Check that video out, and hopefully we can do a couple more looks with this palette throughout the summertime. The last and final palette that I'm going to show you guys today is my M81 single. So this counts as my last and final new palette to me. So it's in this Diverune Cosmetics palette, but it is my M81 singles. Love these colors so much. Super pretty. So I did 4 looks. So this first look that I did use the Pink Planet set. I used Garnet here in conjunction with that mini rose palette. So this is the shade that's all over my lid. In conjunction with my Lorac Fairy Tale Forest, I used Chlorophyll and, was that Stratosphere? Or is it Bio something? It's Stratosphere. Stratosphere and Chlorophyll. And then the last look that I did, I used these 2 shades in that M81 video, so I'll link that down below as well. Love this little palette. These shimmers are beautiful, and I'm super glad and happy that I got some M81 singles, and they just make me really happy in this purple palette. Those were all the palettes that I've used in the month of May. If you guys enjoy these videos, I will again leave my playlist linked down below. And if you enjoy seeing all these looks and you want to be here for more of these palette roundups or more fun content throughout the month of June, please hit that subscribe button, like this video if you enjoyed it, comment down below. What was your favorite palette you have used in the last month? Did you get any new palettes? What were your thoughts overall? I really love talking to you guys in the comments. It truly makes my day when I hit the comments and I can get to respond to all of them. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and I shall see you guys next time.